Welcome to our channel. A penny saved is a penny earned, but in the world of rare coins, a penny could mean a life-changing fortune. Today, we're taking you on a journey to uncover the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered, so stick around, you won't want to miss this. Hold on to your pocket change, because today's first coin might just blow your mind. We're diving into the 1978 USA 1-cent D penny, a coin so rare and pristine it's worth a fortune. Let's uncover the secrets of this unassuming penny, from its minting in Denver to its jaw-dropping value. In 1978, the Denver Mint churned out over 4.2 billion Lincoln cents, each marked with a tiny D below the date. These pennies were crafted for everyday use, meant to jingle in pockets, get spent at corner stores, or end up forgotten in couch cushions. Most are now scratched, worn, and worth little more than their face value of 1 cent. But among those billions, a select few were preserved in such flawless condition that they've become numismatic treasures, commanding prices that'll make your jaw drop. The 1978 D Lincoln cent is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. The obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, features Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait, with "In God We Trust" arched above, "Liberty" to the left, and 1978 with the D mint mark below. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the Lincoln Memorial in stunning detail. Look closely, and you'll spot a tiny statue of Lincoln nestled within the memorial's columns. This coin's composition, a copper-plated zinc core, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating, marked a shift from the solid copper pennies of earlier decades due to rising metal costs. This zinc core makes pristine examples harder to maintain, as zinc is prone to spotting or discoloration over time. What makes this penny so extraordinary is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with most circulated 1978 D pennies falling between poor, 1 and extremely fine, 40, worth just a few cents. But a coin graded MS 67 or higher is uncirculated, showing no wear, no scratches, and a brilliant, original luster that gleams as it did the day it was minted. MS 67 requires perfection under magnification, with a sharp strike and no imperfections. The ultra-rare MS 68 is even tougher to achieve, a true needle in a haystack. Of the 4.2 billion 1978 D pennies minted, only a few thousand are estimated to survive in uncirculated condition, and according to population reports from grading services like PCGS or NGC, only a handful have earned the coveted MS 67 or MS 68 grade. Unlike rare varieties like the 1969 S double die, the 1978 DS value stems purely from its pristine preservation. The minting process at the Denver Mint in 1978 was a marvel of mass production. High-speed presses struck hundreds of pennies per minute, starting with zinc planchets coated in copper and stamped with precision dies. Achieving MS 67 quality required a perfect strike, no contact marks from handling or bagging, and impeccable storage to avoid environmental damage. For a coin produced in such vast quantities, this level of perfection was extraordinarily rare. Rarity is the heart of numismatic value. The Lincoln Cent series, launched in 1909 to mark Lincoln's centennial, is one of the most beloved and collected coin series in U.S. history. Its accessibility, anyone can start collecting with pocket change, combined with the challenge of finding high-grade examples from common years like 1978, fuels collectors' passion. A 1978 D penny in MS 67 or MS 68 is a crown jewel for enthusiasts building sets by year, mint mark, or grade. Many of these rare coins likely survived in mint-sealed bags, uncirculated sets sold by the U.S. Mint, or through the foresight of early collectors who recognized their potential. Their scarcity drives fierce competition in today's collector's market, where wealthy bidders at auctions like Heritage or Stack's Bowers push prices to dizzying heights. The historical context adds intrigue. In 1978, coin collecting was booming, with enthusiasts hunting through bank rolls and mint sets for hidden gems. The Lincoln Cent, with its rich history and evolving designs, was a favorite. Economic pressures of the late 1970s, including inflation and rising copper prices, also influenced the mint's shift to zinc cores, making the 1978 D a product of its time. These factors add layers of significance to an otherwise common coin. To spot a valuable 1978 D penny, start by checking for the D mint mark below the date. Next, examine its condition. Does it have a bright, reddish luster with no signs of wear or scratches? If it's been circulated, it's likely not a high-grade coin. But if it looks untouched, consider professional grading by PCGS or NGC, which will evaluate and slab the coin. Be mindful, grading fees can be costly, and only coins reaching MS 67 or better command top dollar. To preserve a potential gem, handle it by the edges or with cotton gloves to avoid fingerprints, and store it in a non-PVC holder or mylar flip, away from moisture or extreme temperatures. A single scratch or spot can drastically reduce its value. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value. A 1978 D Lincoln cent in MS 67 or MS 68 condition has fetched an astonishing $74,000 at auction. Next up, we're shining the spotlight on another hidden gem from the world of coin collecting, the 1986 D Lincoln penny. This unassuming cent, struck in the heart of the 1980s, might look like ordinary change, but in the right condition, it's a rare treasure that commands a fortune. Join us as we explore the rarity, craftsmanship, and jaw-dropping worth of this Denver minted marvel. Let's dive into its story. The year 1986 was a vibrant time in America. In Denver, the mint struck over 4.4 billion Lincoln cents, each bearing a small D to mark its origin. These pennies were meant for everyday use, paying for candy, parking meters, or getting tossed into tip jars. But a select few escaped the grind of circulation, preserved in such pristine condition that they've become legends in the numismatic world. The 1986 D Lincoln penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. The front, or obverse, showcases Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, with "In God We Trust" arching overhead, Liberty to the left, and 1986 with the D mint mark below. The back, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the Lincoln Memorial in intricate detail. Crafted from a zinc core with a thin copper coating, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper, this composition was standard by the mid-1980s to keep production costs low. What makes the 1986 D penny extraordinary is its scarcity in top condition. Coin grading is a precise art, using a 1 to 70 scale where 70 is perfection. Most 1986 D pennies in circulation are worn, grading from good for to about uncirculated 50, and worth only a few cents. But a coin graded MS 67 or higher is a different beast, uncirculated, with no signs of wear, a radiant sheen, and no flaws even under a magnifying glass. Achieving MS 67 or the ultra-elusive MS 68 requires a coin to be virtually flawless, with crisp details and a mirror-like finish. How rare is it? Of those billions minted, only a small fraction, perhaps a few thousand, remain uncirculated. And among those, just a handful reach MS 67 or MS 68, according to population reports from grading services like PCGS or NGC. The 1986 D penny's value hinges on its pristine state, making its worth purely a matter of exceptional preservation. These coins are the unicorns of the Lincoln cent series, coveted by collectors who chase perfection. The minting process in 1986 was a marvel of efficiency. At the Denver Mint, high-speed presses struck coins at a relentless pace, using zinc planchets coated with copper. Dies, engraved with the coin's design, stamped each penny with precision. For a 1986 D penny to reach MS 67, it had to be struck with flawless clarity and be stored meticulously to prevent environmental harm. Rarity fuels value in numismatics, and the 1986 D penny is a prime example. Collectors are drawn to the Lincoln cent series for its history and accessibility. Anyone can start collecting with spare change. But finding a high-grade 1986 D penny is a challenge that excites even the most seasoned numismatists. How did these pennies stay so perfect? Some were likely saved in mint-issued uncirculated rolls or sets, purchased by collectors in 1986 and stored carefully. These coins dodged the wear of circulation, surviving in vaults, safes, or protective holders. The collector's market in 1986 was thriving. Today, the market for top-tier coins is red-hot, with wealthy collectors willing to pay premiums for coins like the 1986 D penny in elite condition. Its rarity makes it a standout in a series that spans over a century. Want to find one yourself? Check your change for a 1986 penny with a D mint mark. If it looks brand new, with a bright, unmarred surface, you might have a candidate. For a shot at big value, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. They'll inspect it under strict standards and assign a grade, sealing it in a protective slab. To keep a coin like this safe, handle it with care. Use gloves or hold it by the edges to avoid oils from your skin. Store it in a non-PVC holder or mylar flip, in a cool, dry place. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, what's this penny really worth? Prepare to be amazed. An ordinary-looking 1986 D Lincoln cent, the kind most people would never give a second thought, has stunned collectors at major auctions. When preserved in nearly flawless condition, graded MS-67 or MS-68, this humble coin has fetched an astonishing $73,000. Think about that for a second, just 1 cent, a coin designed for everyday change, suddenly transforming into a colossal fortune. It's the kind of discovery that makes collectors' hearts race and sparks dreams for anyone who's ever checked their pocket change. The next rare coin of today's journey takes us back to 1991, a year when billions of Lincoln cents poured out of the United States Mint, each destined to jingle through countless pockets and cash registers. Among those ordinary coins struck at the Denver Mint, a mistake slipped through the relentless machinery, overlooked at first, yet destined to spark fascination years later. By then, the Lincoln cent had already changed from solid bronze to a copper-plated zinc piece, a cost-saving measure introduced in the early 1980s. The Denver Mint was known for producing bold, sharp strikes with precision, so an error in 1991 was unusual. That rarity alone set the stage for one of the most captivating modern discoveries. At a glance, the 1991 D penny looks like any other cent. Lincoln's profile sits steady, the date rests beneath, and the small D marks its Denver origin. But collectors know that the most valuable treasures often hide in plain sight. The error within certain examples of this year is subtle, the kind that requires sharp eyes to uncover. Imagine a collector late at night, coins spread across a desk, the soft clink of pennies filling the room. Hundreds pass by without notice until one coin catches the light. The date looks unusual, the mint mark seems doubled, or the strike alignment is slightly off. Suspicion takes hold. This isn't damage, it's something created at the mint itself. With a magnifying glass, the details become clear. The error is undeniable. The collector's pulse quickens. They are not holding an ordinary coin, but a piece of history, an accident preserved in copper and zinc. In that instant, every hour of searching feels justified, every overlooked penny suddenly worth reconsidering. For years, coins like this circulated unnoticed. But once the first confirmed examples surfaced, word spread through clubs, conventions, and dealers. Suddenly, every 1991 D penny was being scrutinized. Hope surged that one more example might be hiding in pocket change or an old jar. Some even began hoarding full rolls, unwilling to risk overlooking another hidden treasure. The marketplace reacted cautiously at first. Early sales brought modest premiums. A few dollars, maybe more. But as specialists verified the rarity, demand grew. Collectors began competing fiercely, driving prices higher at auctions. What once sold for face value was now commanding serious sums, and whispers of record-setting sales began to stir curiosity. Its value became as fascinating as the error itself. From humble beginnings, it climbed steadily. Each discovery fueled the chase, each auction sale stoked excitement. For collectors, it wasn't only about money, it was about owning a piece of the mint's history, a coin that wasn't supposed to exist, the physical details only deepened the allure. Some coins showed doubled features, others revealed a repunched mint mark, and still others carried slight off-center strikes. Each example had its own unique fingerprint, making no two exactly alike. That individuality made every discovery feel personal. The Denver Mint's reputation for consistency only heightened the significance. How could such mistakes escape detection? Errors are anomalies, rare bursts of imperfection in a system built for uniformity. That unpredictability is precisely why collectors treasure them. And the more time passed, the more this single year's production gained legendary status among error hunters. Then came an unexpected twist. As more 1991 D cents were examined, multiple variations surfaced, not just one kind of error, but several. Doubling, repunching, even striking misalignments. Could 1991 in Denver have been more troubled than anyone realized? This possibility electrified the collecting community, and the hunt reignited with new intensity. Collectors who had once overlooked these pennies now treated them like hidden gold. The coin's journey through the market reflected its growing legend. Prices soared during peaks of excitement, dipped when supply slowed, and rose again as fresh interest emerged. Each auction became an event, a reminder that even the humblest coin could transform into something extraordinary. Dealers began advertising aggressively, while collectors whispered about discoveries still waiting in circulation. For collectors, the appeal went beyond profit. The 1991 D-era penny symbolized perseverance and discovery. It proved that even in modern coinage, treasures still wait to be found in ordinary rolls and jars. And in truth, that possibility, the thought that fortune could hide in the most common coin, was what gave this penny its lasting magic. Today, the 1991 D-era penny stands as a reminder that mistakes can create masterpieces. Born from a slip in the mint's process, overlooked by millions, it became a rarity coveted by those who search for the extraordinary in the everyday. Its story continues to inspire collectors, reminding them that sometimes, the smallest coin carries the biggest surprise. What began as a humble cent has now become a powerful symbol of patience, persistence, and discovery. Each example that surfaces adds a new chapter to its legend, keeping collectors on edge and fueling the hunt for more. The mystery of how many are still out there only deepens its allure, ensuring that this coin's place in numismatic history remains unshakable. Moving on to the 2000 D penny, the year 2000 marked not only the beginning of a new millennium but also another chapter in the long history of the United States 1-cent coin. At first glance, it may appear ordinary, a small copper-plated zinc coin that millions of Americans spent every day. But behind its plain appearance lies a story that captured collectors' attention and turned this coin into an unexpected prize. The Lincoln cent has always carried weight far beyond its size. Introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it was the first American coin to feature a real person instead of an allegorical figure. Over the decades, it became a cultural icon, an everyday token of commerce, yet deeply symbolic of the nation's respect for its 16th president. By the year 2000, the coin had already seen major changes, most notably the switch in 1982 from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc, a change made to cut costs. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of pennies that year, each bearing a small D beneath the date. For the most part, these coins circulated unnoticed, rattling in pockets, jars, and cash registers. Yet hidden among them were a few pieces that told a much different story. Coins that escaped the minting presses with unusual features that would forever set them apart. The minting process is mechanical, but it leaves no room for imperfection. Dies must align with the coin blanks with absolute precision, and even the smallest shift can alter the final product. In the case of the 2000 D penny, a handful of these coins slipped through with remarkable errors. To the untrained eye, they looked like every other cent. But to a sharp-eyed collector, their differences were unmistakable. Picture a dedicated collector sifting through a jar of change one evening. The pennies spill out, their copper-colored surfaces dulled from years of circulation. And then, one stands out, a 2000 D penny, gleaming faintly under the light. At first glance, it's nothing special, but instinct tells the collector to look closer. Rotating the coin, small details appear odd. The strike feels slightly off, the edges look subtly different, and the lettering doesn't sit as perfectly as expected. That little whisper of imperfection sparks curiosity, the magnifying glass comes out. Under careful inspection, the truth reveals itself, a double detail, a misaligned die, or another rare minting flaw. In that moment, the collector realizes that this is no ordinary cent, it is a piece of history, carrying an accidental fingerprint from the mint itself. The discovery of such an error is electrifying. To pluck a hidden rarity from what everyone else dismisses as loose change is to experience a kind of magic, a reminder that treasures often hide in the most ordinary places. At first, these error coins sold for only modest premiums, collectors eager simply to own something unusual. But word spreads quickly in the numismatic world. Soon, online forums, collector magazines, and auction houses were buzzing with discussions about the mysterious 2000 penny. Prices began to rise. Not in a sudden spike, but steadily, each sale confirming the coin's growing importance. Scarcity drove demand, and demand drove recognition. Though hundreds of millions of 2000 pennies circulated, only a sliver carried these striking errors. That rarity gave the coin its aura of exclusivity. As the years passed, stories emerged of lucky individuals who found one by chance, sitting unnoticed in a change jar, resting in a pocket, or discovered while searching penny rolls from the bank. Each new find fueled the legend of the coin. Collectors began to actively hunt for them, buying boxes of rolls just for the chance of uncovering one example. It became more than a coin, it became a symbol of the thrill of the hunt, and so, the 2000 penny's reputation grew from an overlooked mistake to a celebrated rarity. Like many great collectibles, its journey followed a familiar arc, born from ordinary beginnings, defined by a hidden flaw, elevated through recognition, and transformed into a prize that commands respect. Today, the 2000 error penny holds a proud place in the world of American coin collecting. Once dismissed as common pocket change, it now stands as a reminder of how small errors can create monumental value. From a single cent to a numismatic treasure, it proves that even the humblest coin can capture imaginations and histories alike. Its current value has climbed to an impressive $39,000, sealing its reputation as one of the great modern treasures born from imperfection, a coin that embodies both chance and history in the palm of your hand. What makes it even more fascinating is that these coins were never meant to be special. They were struck for everyday use, intended to pass quickly from one hand to another, with no thought that a select few would escape the mint carrying a flaw worth thousands of dollars. Thank you so much for watching. Coins have a way of surprising us, carrying stories, history, and sometimes even hidden fortunes. If you enjoyed learning about rare and valuable finds, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the next discovery.